Alright guys, welcome back to the latest episode of the USS Grissom and Klingon Bird of Prey build. As you saw on the last episode, I did a couple of test shots of color, and well, I'm trying to decide whether those colors are the ones I want to use, and the more I look at them, the more I'm really starting to like them. When I'm thinking about that, I figure I'll take you through the build of one of the wings, which is an exact duplicate of the other wing. And I'll just show you what it takes to put this thing together. Alright, come along for the journey of the wing. Okay, here we are with the wing here. Ready for assembly. It's pretty much a simple piece. You have to definitely make sure that you clean up all the edges, because when you cut them off the sprue, you're going to have a little bit of cleaning up to do there. Not too bad. It's actually molded very nicely. Very crisp molds. As you can see here on the feathers, a very, very clean mold there. And let's take a look at the other side. All the details are very, very sharp. Really, really good looking wing there. See a couple of small little pits there in the plastic. We're going to leave that on there. We'll call that some battle damage. Now, the first step in this is you're going to take the pod here, for lack of a better term. Let's just cut that off of the sprue. And you always want to make sure you cut away from the part. Leave yourself a little bit to work with there so that you can clean it up and not really bite too much into the piece itself, so that you'll have a clean edge to work with. I then sand them down a little bit just to make sure the edge is smooth. I've got these sanding sticks. These are really nice little sticks, inexpensive. They come from Hobby Lobby. They do a great job of cleaning up edges. Let's see what else we have. A little bit here we gotta clean up. I like to go over all the edges as I'm working, just to make sure that there's no flash. And this kit surprisingly has very, very little flash. Well, not surprisingly, it is a relatively new mold. Here we have some remnants of some color testing I was doing. There we go. Let's take a nice look at this here. Here you can see a little close-up of the details. It's really, like I said, very sharply, crisply molded. Really good looking part. Alright, so we're going to need... This is K17A. As I stated on the previous video, some of the parts are misidentified on the other wing. I mean, they pretty much only go together one way, so it's kind of hard to mix them up. But just something you might want to be aware of. Alright, so we got K17A. We're going to clean out the edges here, get some of this off. Then we'll do a little bit of cleaning up here with our Hobby Lobby sanding sticks. I'll see if I can leave a link to these sanding sticks. I really, really like them. I think they're 320 grit, if I'm not mistaken. They really cut right through the plastic nicely. Now, as this is a snap kit, most of it does snap together very, very easily. Let's clean it off. But I have found that in certain areas you're going to have to do a little bit of work to help it along. Such as on the other wing, the slots that this piece went into, the underside of the wing, I had to remount the slot that the peg went into just a little bit, because the peg wouldn't fit right in there. Wasn't a big deal. Just required a little bit of extra work there. And there we are. This one pod is only 2 pieces in the main body. And then we have part K18, which is right here. Now, it says that K18 just slots into the K17 assembly right here. And it actually does have a small notch, let's see if we can see that here, that this is supposed to slot into. But even though you put it in there, there really is no way, nothing for it to hold on to. If you can see that, that's where the notch slots right in, but there's nothing else for it to hold on to. So as far as snap tight goes, it seems to me more like this kit is mostly snap tight, little glue on, as there really doesn't seem to be any way to attach that. Which again, I don't really have a problem with it. Let's clean that right up. And then we're going to do a little test fit, and we are a very nice fit. Now, one thing I have noticed is that this plastic is very lightly colored, and any sort of stress you put on it will leave a mark in the plastic. Not a problem if you're planning on painting it, but if you're not planning on painting it, it will leave a few marks that'll be readily visible. So here we go. Now we can install this here, just like so. So what I'm gonna do is hit it with a little bit of the Tamiya cement. Now you're gonna want to stay away from the edges, as you need these fins here, cooling fins, to stay crisp and clean. And you don't want the Tamiya cement to melt it. So I'm gonna put the I'm not gonna use the fast cement, as I want to give it time to set up, and the fast stuff just really evaporates quickly. And you just want to make sure that you have it in there correctly so that it sits totally flush with the rest of the housing. A little tug. This Tamiya cement is fantastic, as it adheres and dries very quickly. And there we go. This is a very simple assembly. It only gets complicated when you make it more complicated than it needs to be, like I do with the painting. But weathering is some of my favorite, one of my favorite parts of the hobby. And it's one of the reasons that I really love building starships and sci-fi models and anime models, as I get to do a lot of weathering, and it's just a lot of fun. I'm not gonna say I'm the best in the world at it, but I think I do it pretty well. So here we go. We're gonna clean this up a little bit. All right. This is just me walking you through my process of working on these. Now, this part here, what you want to be aware of is this little bit of mold flash here. This is from the molding process. So you're going to want to cut that off so that it doesn't get in your way as you're attempting to install this part. You don't have to worry about being super neat here, as this part won't be seen. You just don't want it in the way as you're trying to attach these parts to the wing. Now, according to the instructions, this is like, this will sit here. Let me see if I'm doing this right. Now wait, show me this here, here. That doesn't look right. Because the notch is this way, or is it? Here we go, this way. Now again, this is another part that is just held on with a very loose friction fit. So you may want to put a little bit of cement here also when you're ready to put everything together, as there's not really much holding it together other than that one slot it has to go into. So it's a little bit of a loose fit, so you may want to glue this piece down. Now here we have our main assembly of the wing. There we go. And here we're in. Just doing a little trial fit. You're going to find that most of these pieces don't exactly snap together. It's more of a friction fit for most of them, which I don't know how secure that's going to be in the long run. So I would think that adding a little bit of glue there, here and there, isn't going to hurt it. Although if you are planning on positioning the wings and maybe you want to display the wings in the attack mode or in the cruise mode, you may not want to glue it down, as you can pull these parts off the ship and install them in the whatever mode you want. But here we have pretty much the completed wing assembly, other than the guns. Now here we have the main gun. Let me just snip that off of the sprue. Now this main gun has quite a few nubs which have to be cut off. You're going to find a few of the parts on this model have these nubs, and they all have to be cut off and sanded down in order to clean these parts off. Now if you can make a really clean cut, then you won't have to worry too much about sanding. There we go. And make sure you get it all really nice clean cut so that won't attack. But the beauty about this model is that it's a warship. So if you do muck something up just a little bit, you can just call it battle damage. Yeah, you intended to do it that way. Don't worry, it'll be our little secret. Alright, here we go. Now we have to clean up this edge here, as this is visible. Now, this is clean up the seams here on the gun so that you get a nice round barrel. There we go. Just got home from work, and after a crazy day at work, I find that this is a very soothing and relaxing way to wind up the day. It's one of the reasons I enjoy model building. It really does just seem like a very relaxing hobby, and I really enjoy it. Okay, enough of me with my nonsense. Let's go back to the building. Now, this is how they want you to attach the gun pod to the wing. Again, it's just another very loose friction fit. It's not going to be anything that is going to stay if you even touch the model slightly. It just pops right off. So this is something you're going to want to definitely glue down onto the wing in order to get it to stay there permanently. I'm not going to do that right now because there's going to be quite a bit of detail painting going on and weathering, and I want to get the base color on with the parts separate so that I can make sure I get good coverage on everything. So this wing is going to come apart. This is all just a test fit. Then there is the smaller gun, which attaches right here to the side of the cannon there. So we're just going to try a little test fit there, make sure that everything sits nicely. And as it is, there we have the completed wing. It's a really good looking piece. Details are amazing on this. And I can't wait to just get it together and get a base color on there. Just to see it all in the colors it's supposed to be. And that way I can just start with the detailing. This is the part that I detailed out yesterday. Did the weathering on. And came out very nice. I thought the color was a little dark, but I'm sort of liking it now. And this is the other color that I use, which is a little more green, but still maintaining the very dark olive drab look, as that's what I'm going for on mine. A lot of guys do the bright green. It's not really what I prefer. There's nothing wrong with it. I mean, you can go with that, as in the movie, the ship did appear a few different colors depending on the lighting. But for me, I'm a little more into a more realistic view of the ship, if you can call a big green spaceship that is piloted by guys with ridges on their foreheads realistic. But I like more of a realistic look on my model, so I'm going with more of what I think a realistic color scheme would be, with actual weathering for a battleship of this class. So that's it for this portion. This is the entire wing all built up. Now I gotta take it apart and keep playing with colors until I find something that I really like. Alright guys, that's it for this one, and I will see you on the next segment of this build. Remember to like, subscribe, visit me on my Facebook page, Onyx Models, where there's all a bunch of pictures and stuff that that's not here on YouTube. But you can follow a little more in-depth with the builds. And remember, like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Tell me if you like this format here. I'm going to take you through each step of the build like I usually do, but this time I'll actually show a little more of the actual building. I've done a little bit of that, not too much, but I don't want to bore you guys. I know everybody just wants to see the finished product, but I thought it'd be interesting to show you how I get to that finished product. Alright, I'll see you on the next one.